When you look at the global economy from above, you notice this: crises don't occur because the system breaks, they occur because it is already fragile. Today, everyone is asking the same question. Can the US really repay its $37 trillion debt using classical methods? Or is it searching for a more radical path? The key point is this: US debt is not like the debt of an ordinary country. Because that debt is denominated in the world's reserve currency, the dollar. So there is a contradiction. The US is a debtor. But it is also the country that prints the currency the debt is written in. So what does this mean? 1. What happens if the dollar loses value? Think of a simple example. Years ago, you borrowed $100. Today, due to inflation and currency devaluation, that $100 has the purchasing power of $50. What happened? The debt is the same on paper, but its real burden has decreased. Can the US do this? Yes. But not without cost. Because in that case, the cost of living in the US rises. Inflation increases. The public's purchasing power declines. Now the critical question: will the US reduce its debt by making its own people poorer, or will it seek another way? 2. Weak dollar equals strong exports. In theory, yes. If the dollar falls, American products become cheaper. The world buys more US goods. This implies a scenario aligned with the "Make America Great Again" narrative. But there's a problem here. The US economy is no longer as production-oriented as it once was. We need to ask: will a weaker dollar really increase production, or just make imports more expensive? Because the US is a consumption-driven economy. Supply chains are global. A significant portion of production is already in Asia. So even if this works in the short term, its long-term impact may be limited. 3. Is a Great Reset really possible? Now to the most ambitious part. The claim is: the US wants to completely reset the system. What does that mean? Indirectly eroding debt. Rebuilding the financial system. Increasing control through new tools, crypto, stablecoins, etc. One of the tools often mentioned here: stablecoins. The question is: would states really hand over control to a decentralized system? The answer is usually no. But there's another possibility. Not giving up control, but reclaiming it within a new system. 4. Does the gold selling scenario make sense? In theory, it sounds clever. The US sells gold. Prices fall. Rivals take losses. But in practice, there's a major problem. US gold reserves, e.g., Fort Knox, are also one of the foundations of global trust. We should ask: why would the US weaken its own foundation of credibility? Because gold is not just an asset. It is the insurance of trust in the system. If the US aggressively sells gold, markets panic. Trust erodes. The dollar is also damaged. So this move carries the risk of harming itself more than its rivals. 5. The crypto and private capital play. Here, things move on to more realistic ground. Today, major players, BlackRock, Strategy Inc., are seriously moving into crypto assets. What does this mean? Ask this: can the state do indirectly, through private sector, what it does not do directly? This is a more American-style method. The state does not take direct risk. Private capital takes positions. If the system changes, the US still benefits. Could this be a backdoor strategy? Yes, but even this alone does not amount to a full reset. 6. The bigger picture, reset or evolution. Now we reach the most critical point. The global economic system does not usually change like this. Cross-market does not reset overnight. Heavy check market evolves gradually. What we may be seeing right now is this: the dollar is still strong but being questioned. Gold is regaining importance. Crypto is opening a new space. Trade is fragmenting into blocks. So the real question might be: is this a reset, or the birth of a multipolar system? Conclusion: the idea on the table is not entirely impossible, but it is too single-plan focused. In the real world, the US cannot reset the game alone. Actors like China, Russia, and Europe will also make moves. The system is built on mutual interdependence. Perhaps the better question is the US trying to restart the system or simply reshape the game to avoid losing control? And more importantly, if a reset does come, will it be controlled or the result of a crisis?